What's up? You ready to do another lesson today from A Course in Miracles? We're going to do lesson 287. Lesson 287. You are my goal, my Father, only you. You are my goal, my Father, only you. You are my goal, God, only you. God is your goal, only God. Love is your goal, is what that's saying. Only love. The only thing you really want is love. You may think you want the relationship. You may think you want the house, the car, the trip, whatever it is on the outer. But what you really want is God, which means what you really want is love. You are my goal, my Father. Only you. I mean, where would I go but heaven? Where would I go but love? What could be a substitute for happiness? What could be greater than happiness? What gift could I prefer before the peace of God? What gift is more important to you than peace? What gift could possibly be more important to you than peace? What treasure, let me ask you, what treasure would you seek and find and keep that can compare to your real identity as an infinite being? What treasure could I seek and find and keep that could compare with my real identity? And would you rather live with fear than live with love? I mean, would you rather keep fear going rather than to exist and live in love? Would you rather have fear than love? Here's the prayer. You are my goal, Father. What but you can I desire to have? God is your goal. What but God could you desire to have? With what way but the way that leads to God could you desire to walk? And what, except the memory of God, could signify to you the end of dreams and futile substitutions for the truth? God, you are my only goal. God is your only goal. God is your only goal. Joy is your only goal. Joy is your only goal. Love is your only goal. Means God is your only goal. You want to be the way God created you to be. You want to be as God created you. I want to be as God created me. What way but this could I expect to recognize myself and be at one with my identity? You are my goal, Father. Only you. You are my goal, God. Only you. God is your only goal, only God. God is your goal, only God. Love is your goal, only love. You are my goal, my Father, only you. 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 Means you are my goal, my Creator, only you. I want to know my Creator. My goal is to know love. Your only real goal is God. Your only real goal is love. God is your only goal and only God. God is your only goal only God. God is your only goal. Only God. This is Earl Purdy. Check out my classes on video and audio at earlpurdy.com. earlpurdy.com. And let peace extend from my mind to yours. And remember that your only goal is God. I mean, that's your only goal. Yes. Hello, mighty companions. This is Earl Raj Purdy, and I'm going to do review 7, the master theme 7, which is what is the Holy Spirit? What is the Holy Spirit? We constantly hear the term Holy Spirit in A Course in Miracles. What is the Holy Spirit? Well, the Holy Spirit, do you know that the Holy Spirit mediates between illusions and the truth? The Holy Spirit is the part of your mind that mediates between what's true and what's false. Since the Holy Spirit must bridge the gap between reality and dreams, perception leads to knowledge through the grace that God has given the Holy Spirit to be His gift to everyone who turns to Him for truth. Across the bridge that the Holy Spirit provides, across the bridge that the Holy Spirit provides, our dreams all carry to the truth, to be dispelled before the light of knowledge. There are sights and sounds forever laid aside, and where sights and sounds were perceived before, forgiveness has made possible perception's tranquil end. Do you know that the goal of the Holy Spirit's teaching, the goal of your loving right mind's teaching, the Course in Miracles defines the Holy Spirit as your loving mind, your loving right mind. So the goal of the loving right mind's teaching, the goal of the Holy Spirit's teaching, the goal the Holy Spirit's teaching sets is just this end of dreams, the end of false ideas. For sights and sounds must be translated from witnesses to fear to witnesses of love. What you see and what you hear must be translated from something that witnesses fear to something that witnesses love. And when this translation from fear to love is entirely accomplished, learning has achieved the only goal that it really has in truth. When your perception is changed from a fearful perception to a non-fearful perception to a loving perception, then the Holy Spirit's goal has been achieved. The voice for God's goal inside of you has been achieved. For learning, as the Holy Spirit guides it, learning as the voice for God guides learning, is for learning as the Holy Spirit guides it to the outcome Holy Spirit perceives for learning. Learning becomes the means to go beyond learning, to be replaced by eternal truth. Learning is the means that you use to go beyond learning until you get to the eternal truth. If you but knew how much your Creator yearns to have you recognize your innocence, if you but knew how much your Father yearns that you recognize your sinlessness, you wouldn't let God's voice appeal in vain. You wouldn't turn away from God's replacement for the fearful images and dreams you've made. If you but knew how much your Father yearns to have you recognize your innocence, you would not let His voice appeal in vain, nor turn away from His replacement for the fearful images and dreams you've made. The Holy Spirit, the loving right mind in you, the voice for God in you, understands the means you've made, by which you would attain what is forever unattainable, which is permanent separation. And if you offer everything that you've made to the Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit will employ the means you made for exile. The Holy Spirit is going to use the things that you have used to hurt yourself, to restore your mind to where your mind truly is at home. From knowledge, which is where the Holy Spirit has been placed by God, the Holy Spirit calls to you. The Holy Spirit calls to you to let forgiveness rest upon your dreams. That's the same as saying letting correct perception rest upon all of your false perceptions. Let correct perception rest upon all your false perceptions. The Holy Spirit wants you to be restored to sanity, and sanity is peace of mind. Without forgiveness, will your dreams remain to terrify you? Without correct perceptions, will your false ideas remain to terrify you? And the memory of all your Father's love and the memory of all of your Creator's love will not return to signify the end of dreams has come, the end of fear has come. Accept your Father's gift. Accept your Creator's gift. Your Creator's gift is a call from love to love, that love but be love. The Holy Spirit is God's gift. The Holy Spirit is God's gift. The voice for God within you is God's gift. So the Holy Spirit is God's gift, by which the quietness of heaven is restored to you, God's beloved Son, you, God's beloved creation. Would you refuse to take the function of completing God? Would you refuse to take the function of completing happiness? Would you refuse to take the function of completing happiness when all God wills is that you be complete in happiness? All God wills is that you be complete in happiness. So what is the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit is the part of you that mediates between what's true and what's false. The Holy Spirit is the part of you that has to bridge the gap between what's really true and what you made up in your mind to be true. The Holy Spirit is trying to translate everything that you see that causes you any kind of lack of peace into something that only reminds you of love and brings you love. So accept the gift of the Holy Spirit. The gift is the Holy Spirit is the guide that God has given you, that's inside of you, that will bring you back to the love and the happiness and that peaceful, sane state of mind, that fun, loving state of mind that is your natural state. What is the Holy Spirit? Is the Holy Spirit? Yeah.